Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Amy and this is Thrift Adventure. I'm a full-time reseller primarily on the Poshmark app, but I do dabble on other online platforms and I sell locally. Today I'll be doing another ship with me video. I do these videos every week, so if you enjoyed this type of video, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button, become a member of our Thrift family. We have lots of fun in the comments and I share lots of great information, so hopefully you can learn some new things to keep your eyes out for when you're out thrifting. Okay, so the first item sold on Poshmark, and it is this sterling silver cross pendant with turquoise and a little cubic zirconia. This is by Carolyn Pollock, and most of you have heard by now, I stumbled on a huge haul of Home Shopping Network jewelry a couple of months ago now, and I spent $890 at one sale. This is another piece from that sale. It sold for $55 and I paid $3 per piece for those pieces of jewelry. That has just continued to be such a great haul. I haven't even listed everything. I got over 200 pieces. If you haven't watched that video, I'll link it in the description box below. I share all the different things that I got, but I have already made so much money on that. Okay, so after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $41. That is really great. I had some pretty good higher dollar sales over the weekend. And so my average sale price ended up being over $60 per item. That's what you want, or at least that's what I want. I'd rather make the same amount of money while shipping out less items. This is a Patricia Nash necklace. This was also purchased at that estate sale, and as you can see, it is a statement piece. I hadn't come across any Patricia Nash jewelry before, but it's pretty cool. This little kind of quatrefoil type cross is her logo, but she sells her pieces at like Macy's and Dillard's, and then also on one of the home shopping networks. So this one ended up selling for $52. I was pretty thrilled with that amount because I just wasn't really sure how well the Patricia Nash jewelry pieces would sell. Again, I paid $3 for this. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $36.58. I'm using the small flat rate box for this piece of jewelry because I'm not putting it in a box, but this one that I put in a box, I used the padded flat rate envelope. The next item that sold is this somewhat vintage gold chain belt, and it kind of has horse bit details like the Gucci. Gucci uses this on some of their bags and whatnot, so that's why I picked it up. Plus, because of the mob wife trend that is going on, I thought that, you know, this would fit well with that. Also, I've just always picked up these vintage chain belts. They seem to do pretty well for me if I can get them, you know, for under $5. I usually like to spend, you know, $3 or something. This one sold for $34. I did have it priced a little higher, but a buyer commented on the listing and said, "Will you send me your best price? I am really interested in buying this." Now, a lot of the times when people, you know, comment like that, the sale doesn't end up going through, or you send them their best price or your best price, and then they counter offer a way lower price. But I try not to make assumptions about people, so I just sent her a 30% off offer, which I had just sent out 30% off offers on almost everything in my closet, and she accepted. So that was great. I paid $3 for this. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $24.20. Again, I'm going to use this small flat rate box. I like to use it for my little bit narrower type belts. The next item that sold is this pair of Anushka boots. This is another piece from that estate sale, and these are sold on QVC, I think is what it is. These were brand new in the box. These ended up selling for $45, which I felt like they should be worth more than that, but I had two pairs listed, and I had them listed for about 2 months, like I said, and I really didn't get much interest in them. I think I had them listed at $69 or $79, and this buyer came in and offered me that $45. So I just decided to go ahead and accept that. I feel like these are for a pretty specific buyer, and they were size 10, you know, because they're so, you know, out there. I don't know what the right word is to say, but they're pretty bright. So I hope this gal loves them. They sold for $45. The shoes were $5 a piece at that sale. So my profit after fees and cost of goods was $31. I'm not going to add much more padding to those. I think that they, you know, are packaged pretty good the way they are. The next item that sold is this vintage pair of cowboy boots. They have iguana skin on them. They do have pretty heavy wear. So this buyer drove a hard bargain, and I ended up selling them to her for $70, which was definitely less than I wanted to get for them and less than I think they're actually worth. But those of you guys who are subscribers and regular viewers know that this is the summer of sales for me. So I am really trying to accept reasonable offers. I think this buyer started out by offering me 45 or 50, I can't remember, and we went back and forth. And then she came up to the 70, and I just decided to go ahead and accept that. I had paid up a little bit for these. I paid $14, about $14. The Goodwill had them marked $14.99, and I had a 10% off coupon. I do have a resale. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I do have a reseller permit on file at my Goodwill so that I don't have to pay sales tax. In Washington, we have sales tax even on used items. And while I don't know that every Goodwill will accept a reseller permit, if you are in a state that has a reseller permit and charges sales tax, it's definitely worth asking because with the amount of stuff that I buy there, I'd rather not pay sales tax, and I can just roll it into my cost of goods on the item. But if I don't have to have a higher cost of goods, then I'm not going to. So they sold for $70, I paid $14. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $42. I do also have 4 sales on Cherish. I'm going to get these shipped out, and then I will come back and share what I sold. Okay, here is what I sold on Cherish. The first item is this vintage serving tray. It has a mallard duck on it. And this is by Couroc. I don't know how you say it. C-O-U-R-O-C. And these were pretty popular in the 50s and 60s, maybe 60s and 70s. But they made barware and these trays, and there was all different designs. Owls, road runners. What else have I had? I had like a harbor scene. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of different things that they made. This ended up selling for $96 total. So it sold for, I think I had a $7 packaging fee. Yeah, so $89 plus a $7 packaging fee, which is in addition to the shipping fee, and the buyer pays both. I paid about $5 for this. So after Cherish's fee and my cost of goods, that made my profit $71.42. If you're new to my videos and you'd like to check out Cherish, I have the Cherish Seller's Guide linked in the description box below, and it tells you everything you could possibly want to know about selling on there. Okay, the next item is just this really great yellow planter pot, and I believe that this is from the 50s or 60s. I think it might be a hand done piece, like one of the home kits or something, but I just picked it up because I liked this vibrant yellow color, and it's just not something that you see very often. Plus it had this great kind of ribbed detail. This ended up selling for $53. I paid $1 for this at a yard sale. So after Cherish's fee and my cost of goods, that made my profit $42.10. I did use, keywords like mid-century and bright yellow and vintage, 1960s, all the things that I could think of. The next item's a pretty exciting sale. This is a solid brass alligator. It's quite heavy. And whenever I see unique brass items, I definitely will pick them up. This sold for $134. It was $129 plus a $5 packaging fee. I paid $5 for this at an estate sale. So after Cherish's fee and my cost of goods, that made my profit $100.62. That is awesome. Oh, someone recently asked on one of my videos, I think they were asking in general for other people to respond to, whether you polish your brass items or not. I do not polish mine unless they are really gross. And typically if they're really gross, I won't even pick them up. But as you can see, this one has, some patina and tarnish, but I kind of feel like some people like that, and I prefer kind of the aged look. So that's how I do it. If you want to chime in and talk about why you decide to polish yours in the description box, then feel free to do that. We all like to learn from each other here. So the next item is just this decanter. I picked this up because it was a simple style and because of kind of the square shape with the round stopper. I just don't see that very often, and I don't know for sure how old this was. I was looking to see if there was any sort of maker's mark that I missed, but this has been listed a really long time, probably over a year. I don't pick up decanters anymore unless they are signed with some sort of great name, because plain crystal decanters just don't sell very well for me. Let me know if they do for you guys. This sold for $58. I paid $5 for it. So after Cherish's fee and my cost of goods, that made my profit $42. If you are looking for tips on packaging breakables, I also have a video about how I package breakables. Also, if you're curious about shipping on Cherish, it talks all about that in the seller's guide. I pay a 22% fee on Cherish, but their fees are tiered. Well, all in all, that turned out to be a great weekend. I don't know if you guys had noticed, but I hadn't had a sale on Cherish, I think, in about 2 weeks. So I was really excited to just all of a sudden, I got all of these sales and offers. I got one offer on some outdoor side tables by Homecrest, and I counter offered that because they're pretty large and it's going to be kind of a hassle to package them. And so I wanted to stay firm to make it worth my while to do all that packaging for those. So don't go anywhere. This video will continue with what else I sell this week, and you want to be sure to watch all the way to the end because, like I said, I always have interesting and unique items. See you in just a bit. Hey again, it's Wednesday, and I actually wasn't going to ship today because when I woke up this morning, I didn't have any sales since Monday, which was pretty disappointing. But then all of a sudden I got 3 sales, and a buyer asked me if I could ship something quickly. So whenever I can, I do try and ship things quickly when buyers ask. But if I can't, I don't feel bad about it because Poshmark does give us 7 business days to ship. And I think that shipping in 1 to 2 days is a very reasonable time frame. Any other place besides Amazon that you order from takes that amount of time to ship. Okay, and I was wondering what you guys think. I have this happen a lot where people, they'll buy an item and then they'll ask if I can ship it quickly. And, you know, no shade to them, whatever. But I think if I was looking for an item quickly, I would ask first before I buy it to see if the seller can ship it quickly. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but what do you guys do? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so the first item that sold is just this simple black leather belt, but it is backed by Coach, actually. And I can't remember, I think I got this at the Goodwill and they missed that it was marked Coach. I just gave it a second look because I could tell that it was nice quality leather and it looked like it was in very nice condition. They only had it priced at $3 because they, like I said, did not see that it was Coach. It sold for $40. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $29. I think originally I had this priced at $49 or $59. I think $59 actually. Which it seems like, you know, a Coach belt would be worth more than $40 resale. But, you know, Coach is really hit or miss with the resale price. Plus, this was just, you know, simple black leather. It didn't have any logos or anything on it. And so I feel like, you know, it's not going to command that much of a higher price because it's just so simple. Okay, the next item that sold is this cool Patricia Nash bracelet. And it has all these compasses on it and it's two-tone. I just thought that was really cool. Here is the Patricia Nash tag and then the logo. I think I've already talked about this. It seemed like this compass line that they had better resale prices. This ended up selling for $44. As I've said a lot, I haven't had a ton of luck reselling Patricia Nash. It does sell for sure, but it doesn't always sell super quickly or necessarily for high prices. So when I get an offer on an item that's Patricia Nash and I think it's reasonable, I will just go ahead and accept it. And that is what I did on this. I think I had this priced at $59 or somewhere around there. This I got that at that $890 estate sale haul. And so I paid $3 for it. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $32.20. That is more than 10 times my money. So I am thrilled with that. Here is the item that the buyer asked me to ship quickly, and it is this pretty vintage multi-strand bracelet. It has little pearls. It's just really a pretty unique piece. It had been listed for a little while. Also, so this buyer asked me if I could do a cheaper price for her in the comments before she bought it. So that was the other reason I was kind of thinking, well, it seems like maybe, you know, she would have asked, pardon me while I overthink wrapping this, I do this sometimes. Seems to me she would have asked at that time too, but I guess it doesn't really matter because I was able to get it shipped today. Just kind of curious what you guys think about that because I have had that curiosity before. Okay, so she asked me if I could sell it to her for $25 with discounted shipping, but I had just sent her a $27 offer and I had it priced over $30. I don't remember exactly how much. So I couldn't send her that because it wasn't less than 10%. So I just sent her a $23 offer, which was the same as 25 with discounted shipping. So it sold for $23. I paid $2 for it. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $16.40. So I'm happy that I had those 3 sales this morning because it had been really slow. I have noticed that watching my videos back, that oftentimes that seems like a trend. Like it'll be pretty busy over the weekend, and then on Tuesday and Wednesday, or Monday afternoon and Tuesday, I won't have very many sales, and then it'll pick back up at the end of the week. Have you guys noticed that? I wonder if that's just like people are busy during the week, or if it has something to do with how much I'm listing the previous week and when I'm listing it. Just curious, what do you guys think? Do you guys see slowdowns early midweek, or are your sales consistent every day of the week? Just curious. All right, this video will continue with what else I share. Don't go anywhere. Hey again, it's Saturday and I've got quite a few things to ship out. I'm excited to share. So the first item is this sterling silver ring, and it has, let's see, are you going to be able to see that? It does have kind of a gold plating on it, and these are real champagne diamonds. So champagne diamonds are, they do have value, of course, still, but basically they are a lower quality kind of, well, there can be high quality champagne diamonds, and then there can be diamonds that are just more brown in color that are marketed as champagne diamonds, but they have a lesser value than a white, color diamond. So this ring sold for $129. I only paid $3 or $5 for it actually at a estate sale. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $98.20. I had this listed for $129. It sold for full price, but it did take a long time to sell, possibly close to 2 years. So keep that in mind. It wasn't a super quick seller, but for that $5 buy-in price, I was very happy to, or I had no problem waiting. So the next item is this fun pair of silver and turquoise color earrings. These are from a lot of jewelry that I bought that had a lot of jewelry from Mexico in it. They have kind of a cool etched cut to them. And these sold for $39. I think the buyer made me an offer on these. I can't remember for sure if it was that or if I sent them an offer. But either way, that's what they sold for. I paid about $4 per item for that whole lot of jewelry. So I just, the lady came in, she said she wanted to sell all of the jewelry. So I just went through and looked at the good pieces, the not so good pieces, and made her an offer on everything. And that offer made my average cost of goods $4. And that works for me because even for the not so great pieces, even if I sold those pieces for say $12 a piece, that still would leave me with, a little bit of profit. Of course, I'm not going to intentionally pay $4 for a single item to sell it for $12, but when it's in a large lot like this, I will just do it that way because some of the pieces, were worth significantly higher dollar amounts, like hundreds of dollars, in fact, which is exciting. But with those lots, sometimes you just have to take the good with the bad. Did I say that made my profit $27.20? And sometimes for those things that aren't so good, I will either put them in a yard sale and just try and sell them for $4 a piece, or just get what I can for them to offset my average cost of goods, and then sell the good stuff for the higher prices. This was something I was kind of surprised about. It's this pretty round link bracelet. It's sterling silver. This sold in less than a day for $32, which is, you know, is a pretty decent deal. The reason I priced it a little bit lower is because this last link here, all the other links were soldered on, and this had come apart, but it doesn't, the bracelet's not like broken or anything. You can still wear it and clip it. But, you know, I was happy to move it out quickly since it had that, you know, minor flaw. I don't, you know, my sterling silver bracelets don't always sell super quickly for me, but that's why I, you know, try and get a low buy-in cost on sterling silver items and just wait for the right person to come along. So sold for $32, I paid $3. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $20.58. That was from the $890 estate sale haul. So I'm excited to sell another piece of that. The next item or items is a set of 3 Bakelite bangle bracelets. And these have been listed a long time. I picked them up at the bins, actually. There was a bag full of plastic bracelets, and I picked it up thinking that some of them could be Bakelite and that they looked like it. And sure enough, there were a few in there that were. Now, there are lots of videos on YouTube about how to test Bakelite. I use semi-chrome, which is actually a polish, a metal polish, and you can just put it on a Q-tip and then rub it on the inside of the bracelets. And if they are Bakelite, then it leaves this reddish orange color on the Q-tip. There are some other ways to test Bakelite, and like I said, you can, you know, look that up or Google it and see what the other ways are. If you have a sensitive sense of smell, if you rub Bakelite till it gets warm, just use your finger to create friction and warm it up. If you rub it till it gets warm, it'll give off like a formaldehyde smell. That's another way to kind of test it. Say you're out and about at an estate sale and you can't test it with semi-chrome, then that is kind of a quick way to do it. Also, you can familiarize yourself if you get some Bakelite and I don't know if you noticed, I was clinking them together. It makes a different noise than plastic or resin does when you hit them together. So this set of 3 sold for $31. Not all Bakelite is super valuable. There is some that is worth thousands and some like these that isn't worth that much. I paid about $1 for these because I got them at the bins. So that made my profit $23.80. I'm happy to move those out because they had been sitting around for a while, probably over a year as well. The next item that sold is this Laura Mercier gift set, and it is a little body and bath honey or something, and then a lotion. I picked this up at the Goodwill. It was unused. I had it priced a lot higher because I saw some comps on eBay for sale and some sold comps higher. But this I've had it listed, I don't know, 6-8 months, and I got an offer for $48. So I just decided to accept it because it is the summer of sales. I paid about $6 for this. So after Posh, I'm going to package this up off camera. After Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $32.40. I'm happy with that. Wasn't quite the home run I expected it to be, but still a nice little profit. The next item that sold is this vintage silk scarf, and this is by Givenchy. And as some of you probably know, this brand is very, very expensive. It has the hand rolled and hand stitched seams, which is a indication of quality, of good quality. So this sold for $41. Not really, really a great amount for a designer item. But I have come to find out that, certain vintage designer items, they just don't sell for big bucks like the current pieces do. And so I just decided to go ahead and accept that price, because this had also been listed somewhere in the realm of 8 months, maybe over a year. I can't remember exactly when I took these consignments for her. But I thought it was time to move it out. So I do a 50-50 split for consignments after Posh fees. So my earnings after Posh fees would have been $32.80. So we split that. My cost of goods is $16.40. And my earnings are $16.40, or my profit is $16.40. So my consignor will only get that $16. But Michelle, she has a lot of stuff and she wanted to move some things out. And so I helped her out in doing that. Let's see what kind of, I don't remember what package I got out to put that in. Okay, the next item that sold is this Boys in the Hood cross colors sweatshirt. And for those of you who are in my age group, this probably brings back memories. When I initially got it, I thought that it was a true vintage item, like from the 90s. But this was actually a 30th anniversary sweatshirt from 2021. But it still sold for $21, and I picked this up at a fill the bag sale, so I didn't have time to really look it over. That's just there to, discern that it wasn't actually true vintage. But because it was a fill the bag sale, I paid less than $1. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $13.78. That's just fine. Every little bit counts. And I really, I want to move through some of these lower dollar items to make room for new inventory and hopefully higher dollar inventory. So I have not been very motivated the last couple of weeks. I have not been listing like I should be, especially for the amount of stuff that I'm buying. I just wanted to be real with you guys. I've been being a little hard on myself with my clutter, which I've talked about in a previous video, and you guys were all so wonderful and kind about it. And quite a few of you shared that you struggle with it as well. And it's part of the business if you are not a super organized person, and I am not. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but there were some shelves on sale at Poshmark, and I got a couple, and I got one put up and some of my handbags put on there, and they look neat and tidy, and that really made me feel good. But we all have rough patches where we kind of lose our mojo and our motivation, and I've kind of been going through one of those recently. Hopefully I'm on my way out of it and I'll get to listing, and thankfully my sales have still been pretty good. This is an okay week for me, but I really need to get back to regular listing to sell all this stuff that I have been buying. And something else that I wanted to kind of talk about was I follow a lot of weight loss people on Instagram because they motivate me to, or they try to motivate me to stay on track. Because for those of you who are new here, I used to be about 60 pounds heavier, and I just don't want to fall back into those old habits, which I've also been struggling with my eating habits lately, which I think can affect my mood. But the reason I brought that up is that one of these influencers had a somewhat significant regain from her lowest weight. And I put a comment on there to encourage her and realize that I need to talk to myself the way that I talk to other people. And I just remembered, you know, at different points in my life where I wished that I could be where I am now. And when I get to points like that, I am thrilled. But then when I surpass those and try to get to a better point, if I slip back to that point that I so badly wanted to be at, I'm really hard on myself. And it was just kind of an eye-opener for me that, you know, we really need to be thankful for where we are, no matter where that is. And it's just a constant work in progress. And if we slip and we're not doing as good, you know, 1 week or 1 month or a year, that we just need to try and be better again and not beat ourselves up, because we're human. And I don't know, someone else in the comments said that they had kind of lost their mojo and they hadn't been listing as much. And so, you know, it's nice to share and know that you're not the only one that goes through low points. And I know everybody does, but sometimes, you know, looking on social media and YouTube, a lot of the time people only share the good things. And so it looks like these people are constantly productive, constantly on top of the world, constantly having success. And that's just simply not true. They may be for 10 years constantly having stuff, or they may be for 10 minutes or 10 months. But all we see is the good, and we shouldn't compare ourselves or beat ourselves up for where we are with what we have going on in our lives. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I'm so proud of all of you. I'm proud of myself for how hard we work to run our own businesses and to, you know, try and whatever your purposes is for being in this business, whether it's like, you know, helping to reduce waste, you know, make a little extra money to take your family on vacation, pay your bills all together, make a little extra money to make ends meet with the cost of food and gas. And, you know, we're all at different points. So don't compare yourself to me, because I have different people that could possibly be helping me or lifting me up that you might not. And I'm just so proud of all of you again, and myself, and I really appreciate your support and kindness. When you can see that I am struggling or I share things, it just means so much to me. Okay, so my total sales for the week was $1,045, which is not where I want to be, but it's where I am, and I would have been thrilled 8 years ago to be at this point, so I'm going to be thrilled now. My total cost of goods was $88.40, and my total profit after fees, cost of goods, and any shipping discounts was $740.88. Not a terrible week, so I'm going to be thankful. I did move out quite a bit of inventory. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love it if you would subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. All those things really mean the world to me, and I will see you guys again next week.